we bring you sorrowful and shocking news. Two-time Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were discovered deceased. On Wednesday, Hollywood has lost an irreplaceable legend. Gene Hackman, a commanding performer whose on-screen presence was utterly captivating, has passed away at the age of 95. From the unyielding grit of The French Connection to the cunning allure of Lex Luthor and Superman, his career stretched across decades, leaving an indelible imprint on the world of. Film admirers recognized him as a virtuoso of his art, an actor capable of dominating any scene with merely a look. Yet as heartfelt tributes flood in, disturbing details about his death have emerged. Details that provoke more uncertainties than resolutions. Police arrived at his Santa Fe residence to encounter a situation far from typical. His wife, Betsy, and one of their dogs were also found lifeless under strange and perplexing conditions, with no evidence, signs of forced entry, or an obvious reason for their deaths. Could this have been a devastating mishap, or does a deeper narrative lurk beneath the surface? Tonight we reflect on Hackman's extraordinary career, while grappling with the eerie enigma now clouding his final hours. Gene Hackman's path to Hollywood stardom started far from the dazzling lights and allure of the movie industry. Born in 1930 in San Bernardino, California, and brought up in Illinois, his youth was defined by a relentless urge to forge his own destiny. At the tender age of 16, he joined the Marine Corps, an endeavor that ingrained in him the discipline and toughness that would later shape his acting prowess. Following his military tenure, he felt a pull towards storytelling and enrolled at the Pasadena Playhouse, where he refined his skills. Success, however, was not immediate. He toiled for years accepting minor parts, barely getting by and enduring relentless rejection. Many skeptics questioned his prospects, deeming him too plain, too unorthodox. Nevertheless, Hackman's resolve remained unshaken. Then in 1967, Bonnie and Clyde arrived a pivotal turning point portraying Buck Barrow. He struck a flawless blend of charisma and unpredictability, delivering a performance that seized Hollywood's focus abruptly. The industry paid attention. This was the breakthrough he had relentlessly pursued, and from that instant, Gene Hackman became a name synonymous with excellence. The 1970s solidified his status among Hollywood's finest. In 1971, The French Connection premiered, and Hackman's depiction of Detective Popeye Doyle was electrifying, raw, fierce, and wholly gripping. It secured him his first Academy Award for Best Actor. He had truly made his mark, yet Hackman refused to be pigeonholed just a few years later. He astonished viewers once more in the conversation. Nitin Citifire, a subdued intellectual thriller helm by Francis Ford Coppola. As a surveillance specialist consumed by paranoia, Hackman offered one of the most chilling performances of his career. Then in 1978, Superman showcased his reinvention of the comic book antagonist, infusing Lex Luthor with biting wit and a menacing charm. Whether embodying a rugged detective, a tormented recluse, or a sinister genius, he owned the screen in a manner few could replicate. The 1980s and 90s bore witness to his remarkable range. He transitioned seamlessly between stern, uncompromising authority figures and richly nuanced, emotionally layered roles. In Hoosier's 1986, he portrayed a faltering basketball coach, striving for redemption, transforming a potentially routine sports movie into a profoundly touching tale. Then in Mississippi Burning 1988, he confronted one of America's bleakest historical episodes, delivering a commanding performance that rattled audiences. As the 90s unfolded, Hackman continued to demonstrate why he ranked among the era's greatest talents. In 1992, Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven cast him in one of his most menacing roles, the ruthless sheriff, Little Bill Daggett. It was a portrayal so visceral, so multifaceted, that it earned him his second Academy Award, this time for Best Supporting Actor. Soon after, he paired with Denzel Washington in Crimson Tide. 1995, igniting an on-screen clash that sizzled with intensity, then came Enemy of the State on a 1998, where he played a retired intelligence operative alongside Will Smith, merging action, intrigue in his trademark gravitas. By the early 2000s, Hackman had little left to prove he had gifted the world. Decades of unforgettable portrayals. Even legends, however, recognize when to retreat. In 2001, he delivered a standout role in The Royal Tenenbaums, embodying the quirky, deeply flawed head of a chaotic family, a part that perfectly highlighted his knack for blending humor with pathos. Then in 2004, he appeared on screen for the last time in Welcome to Mooseport, a breezy comedy that, though not his most lauded effort, served as a suitable goodbye for an actor who had accomplished everything. And then he stepped away in a bold move, rare for a Hollywood icon. Hackman retired from acting entirely. No grand send-off, no gradual exit. He simply departed. He settled into a tranquil existence in New Mexico, devoting himself to writing novels. And avoiding the public eye, though fans yearned for one final encore, he never reconsidered. His legacy was already etched, preserved in the movies that influenced generations of cinephiles. For decades, Gene Hackman stood as a singular force, an actor who could vanish into any character and infuse every scene with unmatched authenticity. He wasn't merely a film star, he was a narrative artist, a meticulous craftsman, a legend even absent from the screen. His work continues to motivate, yet now with his passing, the world doesn't just grieve a titan. We're confronted with troubling questions about his last days. The specifics are odd, the circumstances baffling, and as further details surface, the mystery only intensifies. The announcement of Gene Hackman's death initially seemed unremarkable. An aging Hollywood giant who had lived a long, accomplished life had quietly passed on. But as particulars began to emerge, the tale veered into dark, unsettling territory. It wasn't solely John who had perished. His wife, Betsy, and one of their dogs were also discovered dead within their Santa Fe home. Instantly, the story shifted from a serene departure to something far more cryptic. Conjecture spread rapidly. Was this a grievous accident, a health crisis, or something? More ominous, authorities reached the house to find a haunting tableau, one that posed more riddles than solutions. Betsy Hackman was located in the bathroom, sprawled near the counter. A space heater lay toppled beside her, and prescription pills were strewn across the floor. Had she stumbled? Had she grabbed for something and been struck by the heater? The truth remained elusive, more troubling. Still, her body bore signs of decay, indicating she had laid there for some time before discovery. Gene was found in another room, fully dressed, his sunglasses resting beside him. There were no apparent wounds, no clear indications of distress, yet his posture suggested he had collapsed abruptly. Did a medical emergency overtake him? Did he attempt to reach his wife but fall short? Then there was the dog, a German shepherd found lifeless in the bathroom closet, while two other dogs wandered the house, apparently unscathed. What had killed it? Was its demise tied to whatever claimed Gene and Betsy, or had it succumbed to an unrelated fate? Investigators observed another eerie detail. The front door stood ajar. There were no traces of forced entry, no broken windows, no damaged locks. But why was it open? Had someone come in, or had someone exited? With so many peculiar factors at play, hypotheses multiplied. One early theory, carbon monoxide poisoning, was quickly dismissed. Fire officials performed thorough checks, but no evidence of a leak existed in the residence. If not gas, then what could explain this? A medical catastrophe, perhaps a tragic chain of events where one suffered a sudden ailment and the other fell in response. Gene was 95. His wife, though younger at 64, was also aging. Might he have seen Betsy's mishap and in a frantic moment suffered a heart attack or stroke? Another possibility pointed to an unintended overdose. The scattered pills sparked suspicion. Had Betsy consumed too much medication? Had the dog ingested something poisonous? Had Gene unknowingly taken something too? Toxicology tests were commissioned, but results were still pending. Then came the most chilling prospect. Could foul play be involved? The unlocked door, the odd arrangement of the bodies, and the dog's unexplained death prompted some to wonder if another person had been present. No signs of a fight were detected, but could something more sinister have transpired? Was there an unseen visitor who left no evidence? Officials, while noting the scene, strangeness insisted there were no overt signs of foul play. Still, as investigators moved forward cautiously, The public remains skeptical. How could a cherished icon and his wife perish under such bizarre conditions? Official autopsy findings were yet to come, and toxicology outcomes might take weeks. For now, the enigma only grew. What truly occurred in that home? Was this merely a sorrowful accident, a cascade of health misfortunes, or did an invisible H-shaped Gene Hackman's final moments? Presently, questions outnumber answers, but as we await clarity, one truth endures. Hollywood has lost a luminary, and his last days linger in disquieting shadow. The revelation of Gene Hackman's death sent ripples through Hollywood and beyond.